Hey everybody, this is the Red Bull Esports Champion League 2013. I am Merlini and my main caster, who is off screen right now, is LD, and we are presenting you the second game of DK versus Vici Gaming, the last BO3 series of the day for us. Looks like Vici Gaming got off to a rather poor start. They are trailing 0-1 in this series, and the draft is well underway, so let's hop right into it.
Yep, we'll hop into the draft right now, guys. Sorry about that. I had the headphones on. It's very confusing hearing your own voice at the same time. They're also speaking. So here we go. 3, 2, 1.
DK already starting out with a rather interesting draft. I don't think EO was banned last game, but recent resurgence of EO just picked by Rising Stars earlier today, Rattlesnake, and now DK. So almost every one of our series today has featured an EO, which is very atypical for Eastern teams. It lends to a more aggressive playstyle in the early game and just a more aggressive playstyle in the mid game too, with the potential of relocate gangs all around the map. And Vici Gaming going for already a Spectre second pick, and not sure if that's the best pick versus an EO, just because I think that if Spectre farms off alone, which he usually does, then he can get heavily punished for it. That is one of the strengths of Spectre, being able to split push and then just haunt into team fights. But if you just die to like a CK Wisp relocate gang, there is actually no CK banned out, so that option is still open for DK.
They banned a Lycan instead.
Yeah. This is strange.
I mean, maybe I know LGD Int runs that hero sometimes. We've seen LGD trying to run it once. I'm not saying that DK wouldn't go for Lycan, but I'd rather they have a Lycan and a Wisp than a CK and a Wisp, personally. Because you look at Vici Gaming's lineup, they have a couple heroes now that can really be blown up. Visage, Prophet, even Spectre in the mid game is still pretty vulnerable to CK Wisp. Like, that combo does so much damage that even Dispersion is not going to save you unless you're very farmed.
I'm still curious about that Lycanthrope pick. Maybe they're worried about getting pushed, but Wisp is not known for the early push potential. Enchantress is okay, Dragon Knight is okay, and I guess they just want to delay the game as long as possible. There are much better push heroes out there. Lycanthrope very good at, Leshrac very good at pushing, Chen very good at pushing, Lone Druid especially good, and I'm surprised they haven't banned out one of the more common pushing heroes. Juggernaut, decent too.
Yeah, lots of options for them there. As for DK, they go back for a Gyro and a Dragon Knight. Bounty Hunter is the hero that I would really like to see Vici Gaming ban. You have a Prophet, vulnerable to ganks in general. DK have a couple of cores here, even an Enchantress, that can really benefit from the extra gold. They have great killing power, lots of chasing potential. You give a Gyro track move speed, you give a Dragon Knight track move speed, I think you're in trouble. And it's a combo DK have shown before. So even though it would make their lanes maybe a tiny bit weird, I still think Bounty's worth a ban simply because he fits so well with what the rest of the lineup's trying to do. And
Vici trying to play pretty greedy with the Spectre and Nature's Prophet. That don't want to say that it's automatically 2 lanes lost, but Nature's Prophet almost always loses lane. Spectre, unless he has a very, very good support and very strong support heroes, then he often tends to lose his lane too, and you do not want to get off versus a bad start against a good Wisp.
We'll see a Clockwork pick here for Vici Gaming. This has been a hero that CTY has had some spectacular performances on, so I am personally very curious to see can he snowball this, because Clockwork mid against DK, I think that's a matchup the Clockwork should do very well in. If you cog him and you battery assault him, his high armor is not going to help him against that magic damage. You midi stun him, you can chase him down, you can burn his mana with ease, and I love this ban for Vici Gaming. Bounty Hunter, the perfect hero to ban. Lanes well 1v1 against Prophet. Will get level 6 this game, almost certainly. There's no way Vici Gaming can stop him from doing so. And once he has level 6, he'd be a lot of trouble. So instead, well, Merlini, where do you think DK might go with this last pick?
I think they can go just with a Weaver. Weaver, they don't have any stuns or ways to kill him early. They have cogs, pretty much the only thing, but he can put out a lot of pressure around the map. He is an invisibility hero, pretty difficult to kill, and he has the option to play aggressively. I don't really like the heroes that just like have to farm if they get behind in the off lane. I think that Weaver is one of those that can stay in the lane, not die, and apply a lot of pressure to Spectre at the same time, and it's backup for late game.
And especially in this game, some tri lanes can zone out a Weaver, Spectre Visage can't. Clockwork's going to be mid, Prophet will be your off lane. There is no way for them to shut him down. And DK will back off of what looked to be a rather aggressive early to mid game lineup, and they'll rounding out with the Magnus, which is now gives them one of the strongest possible late game lineups.
I don't particularly like the Magnus pick here just because I think with Wisp you really want just like hyper aggression all around the map, and that means you don't want really long ulti dependent heroes. Enchantress, Dragon Knight, Gyrocopter, not all too dependent on their ultimate. Relocate is not even that important of an ultimate for EO either. But with Magnus, if you want to choose a team fight, you have to wait for that RP. For the most part, you have to babysit the Magnus, or at least give him an easy lane so that he can get those early arcane boots and blink dagger, and you don't want to give any sort of early game leeway against a Spectre or a Nature's Prophet.
If you're just joining us, I see in Dota TV that they forgot to update the score, but this is in fact not game 1, but game 2 of a best of 3. It's Team DK versus Vici Gaming, your final quarterfinal matchup of the day. Tomorrow will be your semifinals and your grand finals. It's the Redbull ECL Season 2 LAN finals. Reasonably sized LAN event, not the big prize pools that we've seen for some other recent tournaments, particularly the Dota 2 Super League, as well as the past season of G1 League and G League, but a respectable prize pool and a lot of good teams invited here to the main event. On the dire side, you have your team that's leading the set, 1-0. It's Team DK. They went 5-0 in the groups. They've gone 1-0 so far in this match. Could they make an undefeated run all the way through the tournament? We'll just have to wait and see. Die on the Wisp, for the time being, headed to the offlane Super. Your solo mid Dragon Knight. ROTK playing the Magnus, has a stout shield, so I expect he's going bottom, but he's starting over here for the time being on observer ward placed by the Wisp, and it looks like he'll rotate down soon. QQQ on the Enchantress, and that puts Burning, the B-God, back on his safe lane Gyro. On the Radiant side, you've got Vici Gaming. They've got a new member. It's 2-2, formerly a 4-Love, the carry player for that squad. He'll be playing your Nature's Prophet. Headed to the offlane. CTY pulled a single set of tangos. Couldn't snowball in game 1. Can he do it here? We'll find out. Over towards the bottom lane, it's your defensive Trine. Support Windrunner for FY. ZSMJ on a hard carry that really needs a lot of farm. The Spectre, and last but not least, Fenrir, your support Visage.
And it looks like Furion is actually going to start off in the top lane, and that is a very dangerous thing to do. I think the best bet for him is to try and just interrupt the creep flow, the creep spawn, delay Wisp level 6 as long as possible. Burning is on the Gyrocopter. He will almost certainly get free farm on top and be a huge factor in this early mid game. But looks like he's already having these trees over here. They did cut down the trees, but with that stumpy park there, it's going to be hard for them to creep pull.
Yeah, it is. At the same time, if the Gyrocopter wants to come and hunt the Treants at some point, he's one of the best heroes in the game to kill Treants. Rocket Barrage does so much damage at level 1, but that would mean he misses some CS since he didn't go for that first Treant. The creep spawn will be denied. Like you said, shutting down the Wisp, almost certainly the best play. We'll see a pull attempted, but unable to secure it as Die. And how do the other lanes look? Mid-clock against Super's Dragon Knight. I would actually give the clock the edge here, and I think CTY is fully capable of beating Super 1v1. And then they are going to get a trade on this bottom lane. Magnus is the offlaner for DK. Against the Spectre, a Visage, and a Windrunner, he might not die, but I don't know how much experience RTK can get out of this lane.
Yeah, I would have liked to see him just cut down trees in this area to the right side and just try and leash experience. Otherwise, they're just going to play super aggressively on him and deny him as much experience as possible.
For the time being, I'll keep my eye on the middle lane. That's the matchup that interests me the most. CTY, who he'll be playing in the 1v1 tournament later. If you haven't already heard, we haven't really talked much about it, but there is a 1v1 tournament for the Redbull ECL. It'll be the first ever Asian 1v1 tournament that was televised live to the Western audience, at least in Dota 2, as far as I'm aware of. It's going to feature most of the top Chinese players. Should start immediately following this best of 3, be it a 2 or 3 game series. Vici Gaming trying to make it 3, and DK trying to make it a clean 2-0 sweep. But a lot of the players will be participating. Dai, your support, formerly known for a solo mid play on the Wisp, will be, or not on the Wisp, but the players playing Wisp this game. Known for his Storm, his Lion, his Tinker, legendary solo mid from the good old days. Now plays support. He'll be in that as well. We'll see Cogs mid, not able to mono burn Super. And then Burning and CTY. So 3 of the players in this game will be a part of that 8-player roster competing in that event.
And we see the Satyr Mindstealer in mid trying to mana burn a little bit and give a little bit of an edge to Super in middle. He is losing mid, but not by that much. 10-3 CS for Clockwork, 7-1 for the Dragon Knight. So as expected, Clockwork is winning that lane. ROTK getting decent experience on bottom. He should be level 3 after this wave, but top lane is really going poorly for VG. We see constant creep pulls from the big camp, from the small camp, Enchantress having free reign of the other 3, and only level 2.5 on 2-2.
And for Vici Gaming, trading just seems kind of underwhelming. You're trading a Windrunner and a Visage for a Wisp and an Enchantress. I would say it's okay to trade with the Enchantress, but although she'll jungle faster than you, but trading with a Wisp as Vici's lineup to me seems pretty dubious.
I also would have liked to see ROTK stack this. Can't be just kind of wanders around not checking the rune. They have the Gyrocopter, they can take it out later. They have the Dragonite, they can take it out later in Dragon form or just melee form with Empower. Any of those would be good and would secure their mid to late game farm.
It almost seems like he was thinking about just either doing a lane swap or ganking, because he walked really far towards mid. Now I'll head back towards bottom, we'll walk up the hill, past the Radiant Observer Ward. But unless they have 3, they can't really kill him. Well, maybe they can. FY throwing out a power shot, and now RTK taking a lot of damage. He can't find his way in the jungle in that direction. He can't find his way in the jungle up the lane. So it seems he may have to go to his own jungle, or just not get anything. Oh, 2-2 could be in trouble.
Radiant's top tower.
Do they know he's here? It seems like they're unaware, but this looks rather precarious.
Use the Wisp balls.
They don't give you vision, right?
They do if they hit the hero.
If you hit someone.
Right.
But if they don't know he's there, I guess there's no reason to check.
It's nice to kill the creeps too, so they can push this lane a little bit faster. He is at full mana.
Radiant's top
He has
tower
2 clarities.
is under attack.
Oh, 2-2. Don't do it. 2-2. Do not hit that tower. You do not want to give away first blood. No? Okay, they're going to defend this one. They'll TP in one. That'll be your support Windrunner. Maybe it'll be a backstab. In comes your Sprout. They've caught Die. Tether already used, so he can't run away. Now QQQ, your first blood. Now that was a well-executed tower defense. Crouching Prophet, hidden Windrunner, and a TP in from the Visage. I thought he was just going to run in by himself and try to deny the tower, but they had a plan, and they executed it very well.
Phase boost already up on Spectre. Let's check his levels. He's almost level 6 too. So if DK decides to push very aggressively on a top tower, it could be a 3v3 turned into a 4v3, and that would just be very bad for them. They would almost certainly get wiped and negate a lot of Gyrocopter's early farm. Gyrocopter's only level 5. I'm actually surprised that he's as under-leveled as, or not as leveled as a Spectre, but he's doing pretty well in last hits. 33 and 9 compared to 27 last hits to the Spectre.
I guess the main issue is DK was trying to push, so they're sharing the experience with 3 heroes. Burning falls a tiny bit behind. He is still farming freely though, 36 and 9. Not too poor. So as we head towards the mid game, I would say Vici Gaming came out really favorably in that top exchange. Not only did they get the first blood, they denied the tier 1 top, and their Spectre's farming. And I thought their lineup was a bit underwhelming in the early to mid game. They have a Spectre, they have a Prophet, but so far, so good for them. They need this decent start, and they're getting
this is better than I expected them to perform in the early game. And ROTK, he needs level 6. He needs to be active around the map and try and shut down the Spectre. This Spectre free farm, I would prefer, I think it's okay to trade Gyros free farm. Oh, I guess you're back in the tower on bottom.
There's your hook, your cogs mid, but little does CTY know that Super is backup. Shackle to fly, Super's low. One more hit will bring him down, but the Clockwork will fall now. A 2-hero cooldown. Burning's on the loose. Look for the missile to follow. He's still diving. He's still chasing. Not using the phase boots, but on the run. Die. Does he have mana for for Tether? It's cooling down soon. He's got the mana. They found the distance. There's your missile. Pew. And down she'll go. FY will fall. That's a 3-2 score. DK, they gave up a first blood. They gave up a tower denied top, but all of a sudden, Die, level 5.5, and we're only 6 minutes in. Actually, one of the fastest Wisp starts you will ever see.
Yeah, he's very high level. And just a little bit of miscoordination in mid. They had like the Gyrocopter right here, the Wisp over here. They broke the tether stun. I don't know why they both circled it around. Broke the tether stun. It could have been a cleaner kill. Not that they paid for it, but just a little bit of Wisp stuff.
It definitely felt like, it still feels like, at least most of the Asian teams that we've seen, just not quite the same level of competence with the Wisp. But to be fair, they've got months of catch-up to do.
Right.
The Western teams have been running Wisp since, I don't know, February?
Forever.
Even longer than that? Maybe even
maybe
January.
longer.
At least a few months, possibly as much as 6. And while DK, they've only started experimenting with this hero in the past few weeks. Often giving it away, rarely even picking it for themselves. That being said, though, Burning does have a double damage rune. Things looking pretty good here for Vici Gaming. If Burning gets big enough, Vici Gaming don't really have a way to deal with him. Not in the mid game. I mean, eventually maybe, but they can cog him. They won't have anything to do with the BKB. Shackle Shot won't help you. The hook's only a stun. The battery assault damage won't be there. He can just stand and deliver, and Vici Gaming will have to run.
Yeah, I would like to see DK just push out this top lane a little bit more, and then take down this bottom tower. Their 5-man lineup on DK is much stronger than the 5-man lineup on VG. Spectre very weak, Nature's Prophet very weak, and they have the big old RP. And if they can get this tower down, they can limit Spectre's farm, and Gyrocopter is about even with him right now, but he can pull so far ahead if they can just take out this one tower.
In order to do that, I think they'll just need a good relocate gank, and maybe they have the option now. Dies hit level 6, and Gyro seems like kind of an unusual combo for Wisp at first glance. You look at this hero. He has a stun that's pretty much useless in the missile. He doesn't have any... He's not the tankiest hero. He generally doesn't want to be in the front lines, but when you think about it more, he needs Rocket Barrage to chase in order to do the damage, and the tether move speed helps him. Call down, if you hit a few, then that gets you in position to wrap around and slow them. Deals insane burst, can get in and out of fights very quickly with phase boot. So they're actually not a bad ganking partner. I still, I don't think it's quite as reliable as a CK Wisp, but
They have so much burst,
if they want to
though.
go, they could.
Yeah, with the Rocket Barrage into a Tether Stun into a Spirit, the Spirit Bomb, whatever, from the Spirits, that's just insane amounts of damage. And Gyrocopter has one of the best attack animations, too, so being able to attack move with that massive amount of move speed can lead to a lot of kills.
Also, remember, his attack range got a whopping 10
nerf.
range nerf.
Ruh-roh.
Yeah.
What will
Gyro
Gyrocopter pickers do
garbage
now?
tier now. If you haven't already heard, don't pick this hero anymore. He's not very good.
Well, Magnus
That
still
was
sitting in bottom lane.
sometimes I think Vice Frog overall has done a fantastic job with Dota. But some things like that, it's just like, really?
10 range nerf,
Really? Why even bother?
12 range. I
What
don't
is-
even know if you can
What
have
is 10 range on Gyro? The hero is 1,000 AoE flat cannon. You'll find something to hit to get it off. Come on now.
just slowly
Come
tipping
on.
him back
Ice
towards
Frog.
the scale of
Ice
balance.
Frog, please. Ice Frog, please. I love you. We'll have a pause here. The Dragon Knight currently disconnected. And DK, we can take a look at the gold graph, the experience graph. They are leading. They lead by about 2k gold, 2k experience. And Merlini is face palming right now.
I'm tired. It's been a long day. Extremely long day. I don't know if I'll make it through these 1v1s.
It has been, but I will tell you that Shiver did it solo casting on longer days. 15-hour days.
In like 85-degree heat. That was
It's not
awful.
that hot now.
It was before. I was sweating like a pig.
It's a
before.
sauna.
How
I'm just
pleasant.
saying,
How pleasant to cast. in
Shiver
the
did it
sauna
by
like weather.
herself. You've got a friend here. You've got a helper here.
Anyways,
Put it together.
They need to kill Spectre this early game, and he's 0-0, and he could potentially be a problem even if there is a gold deficit in favor of DK. I still think that the Spectre does require some sort of priority. They need to focus him down a little bit, and I think that priority comes higher than the Gyrocopter farm, just because Spectre is just really bad at catch-up farming, especially without a Radiance, because his AoE is not that good. He can't clear creep waves that fast. He can't do ancient stacks reliably. He just has a lot of things not really going for him. He's not that great at team fight early. He is good at like cleaning up, but in terms of just 5-on-5, hey, we're gonna go into Spectre, he can't really do that much. So I think that DK can take advantage of that. Just put a lot of pressure on bottom and just farm both jungles, stack the big camp or the neutrals for the Gyrocopter, get burning a lot of farm, whether it be drums, whether it be BKB, and then just proceed to just dominate VG. They need to put a lot of pressure, though. I wouldn't want to see the farming trade-off, even though technically they still have the better late game. There's no reason to take that route when you can go. I think this is a much safer route to just play aggressive during this second daytime.
If you're just joining us, it's game 2 of a best of 3. Team DK leading the set 1-0. The Redbull ECL Season 3 LAN Finals are well underway. It's our playoffs day 1. This will be our final 5v5 series. After this, we move on into the 1v1 tournament showcase featuring the likes of Mushi, CTY, Burning Your Soul, Die, FY, and a few other lonely souls that I am forgetting. There's a total of 8 players competing. It'll be the same format. 8 teams, or players in this case, single elimination. They're using actually a very similar format to what we did with a Fistful of Tangos. The main difference is they start with the 1v1 Shadow Fiend mid-match. So that's the first game of the series. And then you go, the next games you have a draft. We gave players a choice of hero matchups and then randomly assigned them. And then they switched. But in this format, they actually let you ban and pick. And then you just choose heroes. So it should be interesting. You played in a Fistful of Tangos.
I did. That I did. Well, the game is underway. Super has reconnected, and it looks like DK are just content to farm for a little bit. Enchanter does have a smoke in case they want to do that. Decent vision up for VG. They have one ward on the bottom, outside of the bottom T1 for Dire, and one near the top rune where it's pretty big hotspot since DK is trying to make as efficient use as possible of their jungle.
And DK, they'll now have the treads up on Super. Just defensive movement from them. I would really like to see that relocate gank, though.
Wow, an Urn on the Spectre.
Really?
Yep. It's on the chicken. I've never seen an Urn on Spectre in all my days of playing.
I've seen it before, but I don't know if this is the lineup to do it in. Like, this lineup needs a very fat Spectre to get to be successful.
I think so too. I think if you want to fight right now, you get Prophet to go to Urn, or Mech, and Spectre get Drums. I think that Drums just scales much better on him. He needs HP. I mean, Urn does give you HP too, but it doesn't really give you anything else really. I don't know. It's just very
I definitely agree. It seems a bit awkward to me, but obviously this is a clear tell. They aren't going to be just AFK farming, at least not with the Spectre. You don't get Urn to sit back and farm. You get this item to find kills here and there, and also maybe even to fuel some pushes. That is the other nice thing is Tutu's level 7, he'll have his Midas soon, and he's got max Treant, so if they find a kill, they have an Urn, they get some Urn charges, they could push.
Yep, MMY still content to pull on top. He is level 7 right now. We haven't seen a relocate yet, and I think they need some more aggressive wards. This ward's really passive considering the way that VG has been playing. They have a Spectre on their lineup. They're most likely not going to circle around top behind the T1 tower. So I don't think that ward really provides anything. Maybe a ward up in middle so they can see if someone's alone, or perhaps anywhere in this jungle area so they can just relocate and get out of there before the reinforcements arrive.
Yeah, even a lane ward top would be really nice. Since you've taken the tier 1, you can definitely get away with that. But they'll smoke up and call it 5 heroes bottom since they've got the relocate available. Gyro and Io close together. They're best pals. Super leading the way. Haste Rune, Dragon Form, and his level 1 stun available. This looks bad. This looks very bad. This does not look good. There's no other way to say it. It should be trouble. In comes your big bad Dragon Knight, not popping the Haste Rune, not looking to dive. ROTK lumbers way forward saying, Super, what the hell are you doing? That was an easy kill. Super says,
Super has his Haste Rune. All they needed was 1 stun, and this Spectre would have almost certainly
Now
died.
they're going to go, but the TP reaction's been prompted. Vici Gaming with a quick response. In comes Super. He runs right into Cogs, right into Shackle. He gets caught out. He'll go down immediately. Now Bernie relocates in. Call down, end RP, just for the CTY Clockwork that already dropped his entire payload. And now Vici Gaming on the back foot. They're giving chase. They skewer back. DK forced to run the hell away. The Wisp, as well as the Gyro, will retreat out. Yeah, I'm going to have to call out Super there a bit. That was
questionable.
Should have gone the first time, and then shouldn't have done what he did there in the end.
Yeah, I think that ROTK was actually a little bit just going up a little bit too close. The Clockwork scouted him out over here, and then he backed off and hid in this little pocket. Had he just stayed there, I think they would have just caught him out in the open, gotten a kill, and then been able to tower dive 4v5 with almost no casualties. Just because that's their main initiation right now is the Clockwork hookshot, and without him, their other members are just likely to fall. And he actually didn't pick up any Urn charges. I guess he wasn't close enough to that. But they had to blow so many cooldowns. They had to blow an RP on a solo Clockwork, a relocate gank, a Dragon form on the Dragon Knight, as well as a call down just to kill 1 Clockwork.
Who already used Cogs, who already used Battery Salt, who already did his entire job in that fight. Call it a great little engagement for CTY. He was very quick on the reactions there with the Cogs. I just felt Super could have gone earlier when they saw the Spectre in the bottom lane. But well, they missed the opportunity. No big deal here for DK. I still think strategically they're in a massive advantage. Sure, it's only a 1,500 gold lead, a 2,500 experience lead, but the enemy Spectre isn't rushing a big damage item.